And welcome back. Once again, this is Paul Franzen, GameCola.net's editor-in-chief.
This is Michael Gray, the video walkthrough person who recorded all of this footage you're seeing right now.
And as promised, we got a couple other guys with us today. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Matt Jonas. I'm GameCola's most trusted employee around about now. I do all the legwork and they just take the praise for it.
And I'm Nikola Suprak. I'm GameCola's least trusted employee, but I'm here anyway.
Perfect combination. So can someone tell me what's happening right now?
Marty is talking to Leech.
Indeed.
No, we're setting up for the puzzle with the dog. There are no dogs in alternate 1986. Well, there is one. Oh, I confused myself. Marty's going to make friends with 1986 Einstein because of this conversation.
Okay.
And he's learning that alternate Leech is good friends. He is the boyfriend of alternate Jennifer.
And we're trying to be caught spending time with a dog so we can get a demerit? Is that what's happening?
Something like that. We want to be caught with alcohol, with a dog, and caught making out in public.
Why are the samples behind the counter? I can't leave them out, dude. There's a DOG running around town.
Oh yeah, there's our hint right there, that we need these samples.
All over the ground. A dog? Wait, these samples haven't been on the ground, have they? Jeez, McFly, relax. They're fresh. Mostly. What are those things? Those are the liver and peas with soy cheese hot dogs. Ew. You and me both. Brown
They say cheese hot dogs?
Soy cheese.
Soy cheese.
What's he look like?
Mm-hmm,
They don't
even
sound
better.
that appealing.
He's a smart little SOB.
'Cause
They sound
I
horrible.
think it's a well-known fact that the worst kind of hot dogs are the ones that have the cheese kind of injected into them.
Allergies, dimwit.
I don't consider those food.
You know, considering the fact that dogs are illegal in this world, I'm surprised they don't make hot dogs out of actual dog.
Oh my god.
She sems to hate dogs that much, and by she, I mean Edna.
That is not where
I
I
wouldn't
thought
put it
that
past
sentence
them.
was going.
Go get him,
I thought you were going to
What?
suggest that they use the hot dogs to set traps for the dogs, perhaps, instead of trying to keep
Well,
them from the dogs. But this also works, or that would work, I should say.
They use real dog hot dogs to catch dogs to make more hot dogs. It's an endless cycle.
So here's a question. Why is it called ammo box? The box where she keeps spray paint. Is that another word for spray paint?
No, that's an actual military ammo box, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I've never been in the military, so I wouldn't know.
Me neither. I've had my practice on Call of Duty and that
Yes,
sort of
I've
thing.
never played that game.
Good for
I
you.
play games
You're better
like
off.
this, where you have challenges, where you make things blue with spray paint.
As opposed to making things red with bullets.
Yes.
Matt Jonas, perhaps the only person on the Game Cola staff to have played a Call of Duty game.
I'm not proud of it. There are some things you have to do.
Does that game involve, like, actual phone calls or something? Because based off the title, I think it involves, like, getting a phone call or something.
Yeah, you actually
Well, no.
There aren't actual calls in
you
Calls of
actually
Duty.
play as like an operator from like the 1930s in a call room. That's what you have, and then you have to make sure that you route calls to the correct persons. It's a weird like simulation game. It wasn't very popular.
Look, Heine.
Should we be actually
Yes,
talking about the video we're doing commentary for?
So
Explain how I solved the puzzle, Paul.
you put the paint on the plank that the dog was walking on, so they got paint on his paws, and then walked around, and we could figure out where he was.
Oh, okay. Guess I've won you over.
Something
Wish
like that.
they were all this easy.
It took me
Yes.
ages to figure this out when I was playing.
What is it, boy?
Ooh, and now Marty's getting in trouble.
Yeah, but wait.
Why don't you just... Oh, no, you go, I called you Marty. You go, Paul.
I was just gonna say, why did we have to go through all this to get Einstein over here? Didn't we see him already walking to the hot dog stand by himself? Like he was already walking to the location that we needed him to walk to.
World of trouble, citizen.
Yes, but she wasn't there when he was around, so she didn't bust you for being with the dog.
I know that creature. Officer Parker, that
I suppose.
prey that keeps escaping.
It's adventure game logic. It doesn't have to make
That's
sense.
true.
I took him
Rubber
up.
chickens.
What? That's right. He's my dog now. Citizen, you are in violation of Statute 357K. Parker,
Now what's gonna happen to the poor dog?
at once. I'll return this.
Make hot dogs out of it.
Yeah, we're never going to see him again.
Once again, Marty not thinking things through all the way.
Well, he's planning on changing time so none of this
Okay,
happens.
okay.
So he doesn't technically need to save alternate Einstein
that's
from
fair.
the death he has sentenced him to. Plus Einstein's
kind-
smart. Yeah,
That's
he's
really insensitive, isn't it? But, oh yeah,
Yes.
this future doesn't matter.
Yeah, wait. Now, my understanding of how time travel works in this game is very limited, but is this like a splinter universe that continues to exist as he goes back and travels through to a different universe that he is working to create or fix, or...
He's never
thought-
going to be able to travel to this time, I think.
Yeah, you thought more about this than the writers have, I think.
Because if this universe continues to exist, then he just really doomed that poor dog.
Now, you listen here, young man. This is an adult.
Well, eventually what would happen, I think, is that he would be amalgamated into this universe's version of Marty.
Okay.
Eventually. And so then that would probably create some sort of time paradox.
In the meantime, Mom's a boozer.
For your information.
Just like she was at the start of the first movie, which I think is something they didn't emphasize enough.
And incidentally,
Yeah.
and in 1955 too. I mean, she wasn't like a drunk.
She
but-
was a boozer, yeah,
yeah.
but she stole liquor from her mom's liquor
Yes.
cabinet.
So we're trying to get the liquor from her so we can get caught with it.
But she's not going to admit anything while Dad is watching on the camera, which is why we have just blocked the camera's view.
I think for the longest, she's carrying like a sponge, right? Is that true?
Yeah.
I thought for the longest time the sponge was soaked in alcohol, and that's what we needed to get. Well, it was kind of close.
Dad isn't watching.
You're imagining her licking or drinking a sponge.
Yes, I was.
Mom?
What's a scene from my
No, she
fan
just
fiction?
wanted the fumes. She just wanted to smell the fumes. She's trying to get off the habit. Yeah,
I've got
see,
something-
she's backsliding. She's getting off of the habit right now. And Marty just made somebody else cry.
It's kind of his thing.
Well, what is Biff doing in the background? He's moving his head like he's talking to somebody, but there's clearly nobody there.
Oh wow, he is. He just keeps nodding his head back and forth. That's so funny.
He's having a seizure. We should go help him.
We don't help people.
No, nothing. It's just a side effect of the Citizen Plus program. Leave him be.
Okay.
This timeline sucks. Mom and Dad are fighting again. Mom's drinking. It's like everything Doc and I ever did to fix things is falling apart. Time to get some attention.
Oh, is that all three things? Oh, we didn't do PDA yet, did we?
Yeah,
Okay.
Marty has not made out with alternate Jennifer.
My mom's flask. It feels a little low. I could get in a lot of trouble if I were caught with this.
Okay, so I think I have to use this on Officer Parker, who just randomly decides to search me.
Yeah, what a strange way to do that, because, I mean, we're trying to use it on him, so I'm surprised the script didn't just call for Marty to show it to him. Or just, like, take a swig or something right in front of him.
Yeah.
Why don't you open it?
Oh, well.
Find out. Don't get smart with me. I knew you were no good, McFly. Officer Parker. What?
Who drinks apple juice out of a flask?
Citizen McFly, then. Came strolling up with a 181B violation in his pocket. You, young citizen.
Wait, did they say 181B? Like, how many violations are there? I guess more than 180. Maybe there were other things we could have done that would have been easier.
Played that attitude on me.
murder.
These were the only three that Biff mentioned, and therefore, I mean, those were the ones that Biff mentioned as getting him in enough trouble to have
Okay,
a private
that's right.
meeting
That's fair.
with Doc.
Yeah.
Drop it into the
Biff presumably did other things which were illegal, though.
Yeah.
Because he's Biff.
That's right. And these were probably heavier duty infractions than like littering would be, for example, or having the incorrect haircut.
Not wearing he is out of uniform, actually. Marty's not wearing
That's
the right
true.
uniform. That was mentioned earlier on, but I don't think he got demerits for that. Or maybe he did. I already forgot what happened in the previous video.
Well, that's weird. We just finished recording it.
Yeah, well, anyway, we're off to Jennifer. Yes, the Ring of Rock. This is how Marty is going to impress Jennifer.
That's no way to treat such a
Yeah, the
fine
guitar we
star.
had to convince Dad to let us take with us.
I'm surprised that alternate Marty even bothered to learn guitar.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder how that would have come up.
Check this out.
What? You swiped your big
Because
brother's card?
alternate Marty was clearly interested in alternate Jennifer.
Yeah, sure. And you
Because she
told
mentions
me
about
only
she will never date such a square again, so she must have dated the other Marty.
And Marty still has feelings for her. Well, maybe. It's the power of love.
What is it now?
What does alternate Marty have to say about this?
Please, the way story. Come on, Jen. It's you and me.
Dream on, McFly. We might have had a thing for about 10 minutes, but you're not even in the same league as Leech.
You and Leech, Jennifer.
Hey, don't badmouth.
Okay, so, I forget if I asked this question in the previous video. I think I did, but I don't think we had, Matt and Nikola here. Is it technically cheating on, Jennifer to, be making out with alternate Jennifer?
Who appreciates a hot lick?
Yeah, I remember.
That's a really hard question.
Jennifer. Nobody in
I don't know,
town
it's just
would
something
follow
about it
me.
struck me as weird, because she's Jennifer, but she doesn't look, act, or, you know, resemble the real Jennifer in any way.
Yeah, I mean, her personality is completely different. Does that make her a different person?
Did you say first?
Maybe you're cheating on the personality, but not her soul.
Hmm. Whoa.
I was born ready.
You'd have to wonder, do people's souls change because of time travel?
That's pretty heavy.
You can knock on my
That's really heavy.
That is more thought than they put into this.
It's more thought than anyone has ever put into this.
I told him, there's no one in Hill Valley better than you.
I would say yes. I would answer, the end of the series seems to indicate that the answer is yes. A person can undergo, I mean, even in the movies, people can undergo dramatic changes in personality
I think,
as a
personally,
result of time travel.
I would be uncomfortable if my wife traveled to an alternate universe where I was completely different and made out with me.
Fair enough.
I would-
Nikola, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd say that it's not allowed. It'd be like if you cheat on someone with their twin. Like they're almost the same, but
Wait, that's not legit?
no, also not legit.
Crap.
So, for this puzzle, what you needed to do was the scissor kick right in front of the dumpster. And you'll notice when Leech did that, he knocked over a couple of, what do you call them, buckets? Those
Yeah.
buckets down underneath him. He knocked those over, so they're no longer supporting the platform that he's standing on right now. So when Marty does the hop, he's going to fall over because the platform is no longer supported.
And thus Marty is way cooler than Leech.
That was
Marty has killed again.
awesome.
Foot's not moving.
Some guy got in.
Well, at least the dumpster's not, like, locked or anything. It looks like he can be able to get out of that by himself.
My head's stuck.
Yeah, his foot's not moving though. He's either knocked out or he's dead.
Come near.
No, he was talking. He was talking. He's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Was he
But
above
barely.
me? A square?
And then for some reason, Marty and Jennifer decide to go inside the soup. Oh, I don't quite understand that logic. It's like, let's make out, but let's go inside the soup mo instead of the secluded alley.
The windows are tinted. Like, he's not going to get demerit this way.
There we go.
Here we go. Open the window.
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to be seen, maybe they should just stood like right outside the gate to City Hall or whatever. But I guess Jennifer might not have necessarily been on board with the idea of getting caught.
Yeah, by her father.
You've gone too far, Jennifer. What's the big deal? It's only hormones.
No, we don't use words like that in this house.
Oh, that's another demerit.
I'll deal with you later, young lady. We're gonna have a long talk about this.
Yeah, you would have thought that maybe Marty could try to get demerits for excessive swearing or something like
You'd
that.
think that would have been pretty easy, actually, if he just like stood there and swore for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or like someone said before, just killed someone.
Or dropped his pants. There's a lot of things he could have done with that puzzles.
I'm surprised Telltale didn't go that route.
You could have tried to moon Edna, and this is a scene that occurs only after you've gotten all 3 demerits.
Angry? Nah. The threat of being citizen plus was worth it just to see my dad's veins go all purple.
Yeah, and now Jennifer loves him.
I gotta go.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Marty, what's gotten into you? Booze,
So I like this. Jennifer's hands will eventually just stop moving completely.
cool guy.
I know this is gonna be hard to believe, but I'm the same guy I've always
Yeah, right
Oh,
now.
wow.
And Marty's moving forward, but those
I
hands
would
are
never
still...
have noticed that. Wow.
What's next on the agenda? Knocking over banks?
Maybe. What's a guy
There we
gotta
go.
do to get in trouble around here?
I think you're about to find out.
You, citizen. Get out of here, Jen.
Not a problem.
Are you Martin Shaman?
I forget if we talked about this in video 1, but I do like what this game says about the power of love. Like, no matter what happens to the timeline, Marty's parents still get together. Marty and Jennifer still somehow end up together, though, through Marty's meddling in the time stream, so maybe that doesn't count.
I also like how Marty was like, Jen, get out of here. And when he turned around, she was already gone. She had heard-
Oh, she's used to doing stuff like this. You know it. This is not her first time.
You're referring to all these things from the movies. I haven't seen the films.
No, she didn't break the law in any of the movies. Paul's just making jokes.
Alright, you see, I wouldn't know because I haven't seen them.
No. In the movies, Jennifer is the good girl. And she's a
From-
redhead.
From
And
what I've
she-
seen, she just seems like a generic character. I'm probably going to get told off for saying that, but very generic.
She doesn't have that much screen time, though.
Yeah.
So she only has like 7 minutes or so.
through the 3 films. Like, she's not...
And they replaced her, partway through, so...
Yeah. And she looks totally different in the game. So, yeah, I guess generic would be...
Why are there 2 Einsteins on the courthouse?
We mentioned this in the previous video. It's like, there are dogs. It's a society where dogs are banned, but dogs are raised up on such a high
Yeah.
pedestal, literally.
Well, those are actual dogs that they've caught and then put in
Yes.
bronze.
Those are the ones that didn't
Dogs
get
that
turned
they
into
don't
hot
turn
dogs.
into hot dogs.
Yeah.
Well,
They freeze them in bicarbonate and throw them up
For
there.
the unlucky ones.
yeah.
It's like Star Wars.
I think they try to mention this. They don't try to mention it, but at the end of the 4th game, there's a challenge involving the dogs or the statues on top of the courthouse. Because in normal 1986, aren't those like gargoyles or something? Paul, you've seen
they're
these
definitely
movies.
gargoyles in the movies.
In the movies, yeah. So they were deliberately changed from gargoyles into dogs.
But wait, were you saying that they in 1986 in this game are they dogs in this series?
In this series,
Or do we
Well,
not do we not see them in 1986 here?
wait to the end of part 4, part 4, episode 4, and we'll see. We'll see what the statues are like then.
Right.
Okay, well, this is a conversation with Marty and Doc, getting back to
Yeah,
the video.
we just found Doc. That's what we've been trying to do all this time, and we kind
this
of...
conversation like
Go.
3 times, and you pretty much cover the same exact information no matter which dialogue options you pick.
Yes, it's Doc. I need you to get me back there. So you believe
You can tell this is evil Doc because he's bald.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks much more like Judge Doom now than he ever did.
Yes. Cry for help, as it were. Yes.
He also looks.
But
What's
I'm...
next?
Tell me, Marty.
I was just gonna say, I
was
think
gonna
he
ask
looks a
what
little
that friend
older
looks
too. But
Marrying Edna has aged him prematurely, whereas marrying Doc has de-aged
it's done
Edna.
wonders for her.
Hill Valley, we require our citizens to
Doesn't
hold
surprise
one
me.
another to the highest standards, even if those fellow citizens happen to be
Perhaps we should get into another discussion about whether Doc and Edna should really get together and whether that makes sense.
He showed himself to be
I think I've thought about this over the break,
Okay.
and I think it's an unhappy marriage. I think it started out happy, but it became unhappy
For both of them or for one of them?
for both of them.
Okay.
For both of them, I think Doc is a little misogynistic, and Edna's a little controlling.
You don't really see them spending a lot of time together here.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll only see them when they have a big fight, and Doc is not very kind and friendly towards his wife of, say, 40 years. How long have they been married?
fascinating.
That sounds about right.
Yes, it is fascinating.
We last saw them in like 33?
Yeah.
Never invented it.
So they started dating in 33, and it's 86 right now. How long do you think it took them to get married?
Everything
People
I
married
grew
young
up
back
when I
then,
went
didn't
back
they?
in
I'm gonna say it took them like
1931.
3 to 4 years.
Sounds like this time is
Well, he was 18, so he technically could have
Oh,
married
I guess they
her
could have gotten married like right away, yeah.
They could have gotten married in like December, like a month after we last saw them.
I'm gonna say they...
I'm sure.
Oh.
Isn't there a mention of it in episode 4 that he was going to propose to her?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it would have been straight after
Okay.
we left them.
But I get the idea that it's Marty's meddling which caused Doc to propose prematurely. I mean, I think he said something like, I wasn't planning on doing this for a while, but now
Yeah.
you've inspired me and I'm going to propose.
Yeah.
See, I would think Doc would just want to lock her down as quickly as possible. I mean, he's not really a big ladies' man.
This case is worse
So they've been married for about 50 years now at this point.
than alternate reality.
About 50 years. Interesting.
No, this is
Yeah, so we're trying to convince Doc that this is the bad alternate 1986, rather than...
We're trying to convince him that, yeah, that we are actually the time-traveling friend that he knows.
drastic flaw in the social condition. Yeah, don't understand. No, I don't understand. But I want to get at the root of your problem.
Yeah, Doc actually seems particularly calm and collected and not very evil for an evil overlord.
Take your time. Look around the room.
He definitely, I think, is better than normal Doc. Normal Doc is kind of crazy.
Better
and
than
out
normal
of it.
Doc, wow. Big words.
This evil Doc definitely is more composed. I think he might actually think things through more than normal Doc does.
The dog. Harboring dangerous animals is a municipal offense.
And he's clearly more ambitious too, or at least Edna's ambitious enough on his behalf.
A long time ago. Remember
Well,
the test
he
where
he
your
wants
car-
society to be better, and there's nothing wrong with wanting an improved society.
Something of the sort, but naturally-
But is this really improved?
Wasn't anything natural about it. Einstein's entire
It's
theory
clean.
was thanks to your invention.
Everyone gets golf carts.
Impressively detailed illusion.
What is wrong with golf carts?
Nothing.
Right then.
Yeah. Maybe Marty shouldn't be trying to change things then. Although I guess there's that whole Citizen Plus mind control business.
But Doc doesn't know about that, so in his opinion, he thinks everything's fine.
It's all the same stuff I saw on my dad's monitors. I think the whole town is under surveillance.
Yeah, the constant surveillance is
Yeah.
something I'm not a big fan of.
Saw him. Of course.
We don't actually see Judge Brown here either. It's
Apparently he's a robot.
yeah.
Wow.
Last time I saw
That would
him,
have startling implications for the series.
out over your decision to become an inventor instead of a lawyer.
Then we can get into a whole discussion about whether androids can have children.
Bizarre, fantasy.
I'm just wondering why Doc has that picture of his father. It's a very creepy picture.
Andy doesn't like his father very much.
Well,
And it looks like it's him being scared of his father. It's a portrait too. It's not like somebody took a snapshot photo of the two of them. Somebody actually painted that with oils. Oh, and we can't see the picture of him and Edna, which is sort of a shame.
I was just gonna say I wasn't sure if there was a picture of like he had a giant picture of his dad, but not one of his wife. But there it is. What about his?
It's him and his wife, just like that other picture.
Where's his mother?
The famous one. Which name? I don't know.
Yeah, that looks like it's something gothic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
American
American Goth.
Yeah.
The guy in the pitchfork. That's what it's called.
Mm.
But in 1931, it was full of bacteria that we used.
And I kind of want to go back and pause the video again with a close-up on that picture to see what the courthouse statues look like. Picture, because they're standing in front of the courthouse in the picture. And he's quoting Edna, because Edna says that a lot. It's a fact, look it up. So she's clearly influenced him. And on the left is the ticket, which disappeared at the ending cutscene in the previous episode.
But is the ticket for a different movie now?
Yeah, it changed.
Okay.
It's for, you can kind of see, it says something like, the oppressed husband. Come on, let's see. I guess this is the game's way of freezing for a moment while it loads the next scene.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the something husband, the virtuous husband. So she wanted him to see a movie
Was that
about
their first date? Ouch.
Their first date was a movie, so she clearly had designs on him since the beginning, I guess.
Not only that, she was clearly influencing his decision-making that early on. I don't think young Doc would have gone to see that of his own volition.
I don't know. Maybe she was thinking of marriage back then. I mean, you mentioned that you say Doc would probably try to get her down because not many women would be interested in Doc.
I'm just saying, I have a feeling.
Edna has a similar situation where not many men are interested in her.
Whoa. Maybe they are made for each other.
They're both lonely.
I think I can hear Nikola actually pounding his head in the desk in the background, saying, "No, no, stop it."
They're not meant for each other.
But which one would Phoenix Wright date is the bigger question.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, come on. Don't you remember? You disarmed him and I trapped him in
Marty and Maya, perhaps? I could see that.
That's not how it happened.
I would work something in with Doc's father being a judge.
I think it is.
There's your premise right there.
The other year.
Here's your opening, yeah.
And Emmett's working at the courthouse that day.
This is an easier crossover than Phoenix Wright Professor Layton, I think.
Phoenix Wright Professor Layton isn't that hard. Phoenix just goes to England for some reason. I mean, that's all we've been told so far.
Technically England. It's like one source says England, another source says Labyrinth City.
Yeah. Well, the thing I don't particularly like about the Professor Layton games is that they always had this disclaimer at the start of the games which says it's like none of these locations are real, they're completely fictitious, not meant to resemble places in the real world. And then they followed up with like Big Ben and London and all sorts of famous landmarks. Everybody calls it London too, so...
Oh, we're trying to convince Doc that everyone's sad.
And his voice has started echoing because he's shouting. Mrs. Brown. Hmm, 50 years.
Oh, there you go.
There we
Yeah.
go. Well,
No,
no,
it
I
does-
mean, they've been working together for 50 years. As we'll see in episode 4, they are working together on this project.
You run this place like it's a police station.
And I actually went back to freeze frame the picture of Doc and Edna on the wall. You cannot see any statues
Okay.
on the courthouse.
Okay.
No dogs or gargoyles.
Oh, by a madman. And I determined that the best treatment is simply to let the insanity run its course.
I don't know. That's really an unattractive picture of both of them. I don't know why he keeps it.
Interview over. Should I leave?
You think he would ask for a painting, which, you know,
Like, looks
makes
nice?
him look
Yeah.
at least looks nicer. She's scowling and he's scowling.
Well, does she
And
ever
again,
not
she usually
scowl, though?
scowls. Yeah. She smiles a couple of times. She smiled when earlier on in this video when Marty was given a demerit.
See, Doc, she's clearly not a nice person when things like that are what make her happy.
Doc wants proof that Hill Valley isn't the perfect place.
Where's
Maybe
the front
being
of the house covered in police tape?
Yeah.
What about the tape?
It was already covered in police tape, though, because they had a dust mite infection.
Sit here.
Oh,
Blacked out for a minute
okay.
there, fell out of the chair.
So which is another reason why alternate 1986 is better than normal 1986. They are really on top of their dust mites.
Hill Valley fall into virtually
They're not on top, however, of people getting hit in the head with baseball bats, apparently.
Gotta be a clue around here somewhere.
Well, apparently it happens so rarely that it takes Dad here a moment to figure out what it could be for.
I'm just saying, for a police state, there sure aren't any nearby when someone's getting hit with a baseball bat.
Of what?
Mm-hmm.
Although maybe there's not a camera pointing into his garage.
There is a camera
There is.
pointing into the garage, and that will be the next puzzle.
What's the
Then never
last
mind.
thing you remember?
Oh, for the people who haven't played this game and are watching this video, we should explain. Marty's dad got hit on the head with a baseball bat, and somebody stole the footage, the video footage that Marty was going to get, which proves that people in this new alternate 1986 are unhappy.
And who do we know that hits people with sports equipment?
Cannons?
That's what I'm thinking.
Found my tape yet? Telling you, Dad, it was tape.
Very convenient that Dad operates from the garage, because he doesn't do that in the movies. I thought he had a real job in the movies. He and Biff.
Well, he was an author in the movies. He could have worked
No,
out of his garage there too.
The first George McFly, he and Biff worked at the same place, and Biff was bullying him into, like, finishing his reports.
There's no tape. But I'm sure they were in
You finish those reports for me, McFly? Bill, Biff, I'll have them done by Tuesday. Think, McFly! I gotta recopy them.
That's a pretty good impression.
it was a very good
Yeah.
impression.
Fell through halfway through when I stopped trying.
No, but this is gonna sound like I'm making a joke, but I think that was slightly better than the George they actually got for the game.
Oh, I haven't done a George impression. Actually, I was doing my impression of your brother's impression of George.
My brother does an impression of George?
Yeah. It was when I was going to your wedding, and he picked me up from the airport, and we were driving to the place,
Yeah.
and somebody cut him off, and he's like, "Hey, you!" From the line,
Yeah.
George's line, "Hey, you, get your damn hands off her. Do you really think I ought to swear?"
It may take a while, but if you're willing to help your old man out, it shouldn't take us more than, say, 6 months. 6 months? But I need
Oh,
to
fun
sit
fact, the
down.
person who does Marty's father also does the voice for Marty's grandfather.
Really?
He basically does the same voice for both characters, I think.
I didn't notice any difference. I thought it was the same person.
Oh. They're
Yeah.
different people. They're father and son.
There's no difference in the voice whatsoever.
That's probably intentional.
Yeah.
They do similar things in the movies as well, with same actors playing people and their descendants.
They change their voices, though.
Huh.
I mean, when Michael J. Fox plays, like, Seamus McFly, he at least tries an Irish
That's
accent.
true.
What, Michael J. Fox plays a part in these games?
He does.
Wow.
No, but I think Michael was referring to the third movie.
Parents, but it's the only way.
Oh.
Don't understand.
But actually, yes, Michael J. Fox does make an appearance in episode 5?
Both know that things are
Episode
right.
5, yeah, he
Yes.
plays one of the random McFly descendants.
But Isdale Valley's just
Wow.
So he plays Arthur's father,
basically, yeah.
who is seen as a baby in the third movie.
No, wait. I got him to listen, Dad, and he's gonna make things right for you and Mom and all of us. I can't explain how. You're just gonna have to trust me on this. Okay. But first, I have to show him your tapes to prove my point. Oh no.
Marty still hasn't figured anything out, has he?
No.
You know what you're doing? I can't say.
It's been like 10 minutes, he still has no
I'm in
idea.
trouble. I can't handle it. It's not in my genes. But
He's gonna get around to it.
do it for your father. My father? Yeah, Arthur McFly.
Yeah, the one who sounds just like you.
Did he have something to do with putting away Kid Tannen, way back when? Yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he doesn't get any credit
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Doc kind of gets all the credit for it,
Defeating
doesn't he?
Kid
Brown cleaned up the town before I was even born.
You think Edna would have tried to steal some of that credit, maybe?
Dad stood up
Although, to be honest, her role was being tied up in a burning building.
to deliver to the authorities. Never be a
Yeah, she probably just wanted to divert attention from her being the speakeasy arsonist.
So what are you doing? Trying to remember
Are you spoilering things again?
No.
to what?
No,
Okay.
it was in the second... I'm not entirely convinced that Kid Tannen was right when he tied her up for being the speakeasy arsonist.
Help me figure out which monitor I'm on.
I thought there was reasonable doubt at this point that she might not have been the speakeasy arsonist, and then the game just goes to alternate 1986 where she's completely evil, and it's like, oh, okay, never mind. I was still holding out for her being a good person, but I was wrong.
I was never holding out for that.
I'm always holding out for people becoming good people.
That makes you a good person, I think.
I don't know. Or maybe just hopelessly optimistic. So what is this challenge? I completely forgot how to solve this challenge halfway through. Or not halfway through, I completely forgot how to solve it.
Yeah, wait, what are...
You have to keep pressing buttons on the bottom left one until it shows the garage, then you have to press the VCR. And
Okay.
it's done.
Yeah, so you notice I mess up here and I talk to George again,
Of course, surveillance is what I do. Why didn't you say so in the
which
first place?
apparently is not what you're supposed to do once you already find, when you find the right,
Try flipping the switch.
yeah, he wants you to find it. Wow, that was inarticulate. He wants you to find the correct camera. I found the correct camera, and then I talked to him again. That didn't work. So it is. You have to press the VCR, which is
There, that looks like us.
slightly difficult, I think.
On this VCR. This must be before the
There's not a very wide,
cleaning the playback.
whatever you call it. There's not a wide area for you to move your mouse over, and it says VCR. It's a very small VCR.
The Citizens Plus program has rendered him as gentle as a...
How does he recognize Biff from behind?
He just tapped him!
How can you not recognize Biff from behind? He's the only character in that universe who's that build, that size, has that haircut, carries a baseball.
There are 6 people in this town.
I knew the zoom and enhancer feature would come in handy someday.
There are, aren't there?
Everyone else left.
Yeah, everybody wears the exact same outfit, though.
Wait, stop the picture.
And why does Biff keep attacking? He clearly broke the monitor already.
He broke the monitor, didn't he? But weren't all 4 monitors working just a moment ago?
The other 3 are completely working. He only broke the one, and he hit it over and over again.
He also just kind of, like, poked him with the baseball bat.
Yeah, his job was just supposed to take the tapes. I think maybe he only poked him with the baseball bat was so it's non-imitatable violence.
I've got some business to attend to.
So if kids are playing this, they won't try to play like Biff from the game and hit people.
That was my favorite game when I was growing up. Hitting people with a baseball bat.
Pretend to be
Yeah.
Biff and hit people.
Call them buttheads.
Okay. Anyway, it's awfully convenient. I find it awfully convenient that the VCR player has a zoom feature and a rotate feature.
As I'm guessing no VCR ever actually did.
Just a little misunderstanding. I'm sure we can
Although,
work it out.
I'd say it's not unreasonable that Doc might have invented a VCR that has those features.
Now let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Yeah, let's.
Now this is something I would have brought up in the first episode if I was doing commentary for that. It was
The one that shows how
the VCR store was built on top of the old speakeasy, right?
Yeah.
And it says and it has a plaque saying this building was erected in 1933, which is your clue that you have to go back to 1933.
Right.
Why would there be like a movie rental place in 1933?
Well, they probably just built the store back in 1933.
What are you talking about?
Then,
And they didn't get rid of the plaque? I mean,
I can't hurt anybody.
Shh, it's convenient. Just
well,
Don't
we'll
argue
see,
it.
we'll see, because
oh,
I'm trying to remember in like episodes 3 and 4, the building is there. It's right.
If you didn't beat up my dad,
Because episode 2 takes place several months later, by which time the building on the site of the burned down speakeasy should be there.
Right. That's strange.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And I'm trying to remember what that building is. Hmm.
Well,
I'll have to remember to take a look at that in episode 4, I guess.
I just finished giving some leftover bologna to a cute little squirrel when Miss Edna came by. Edna?
See, this town has a squirrel problem because there are no dogs.
That's not a problem. Who doesn't love squirrels?
I don't love
You don't love
squirrels.
squirrels.
Well, we had a squirrel infestation at my home like last year with like 9 dozen squirrels, and they would eat all the food off the trees.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We couldn't get anything from the trees or the garden. They actually destroyed the garden.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah. But the city protects the squirrels, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we can't like set out poison or anything. Which makes sense. That's slightly cruel and unusual, but how are we supposed to get rid of all these squirrels?
Some sort of spray, maybe? Like, I know my parents sometimes use deer urine to keep the deer, or like fox urine or something to keep the deer out. Wolf urine.
I reckon
Really?
you could just
Yeah, but now your house
walk
smells like
around
wolf.
No,
outside.
well, you spray it on the outside. You don't, like, use it like Febreze and...
I'd rather have deer than wolf urine.
That's a fair point.
Your watch.
You might be able to move all the squirrels away by walking around outside with 2 giant cymbals and just keep crashing them together.
Yeah.
I've never seen it look like that. Heck, I can barely get this.
Anyway, we're
See?
getting to the point where Marty is setting the watch according to the picture that was on the video camera.
Cool.
Are we intentionally turning him into Evil Biff?
We are intentionally seeing what it does.
Okay.
I think Marty doesn't know that it turns him into Evil Biff.
Or maybe it's not Evil Biff, it's like Malleable Biff, where you can give him orders.
I think he looks
Incredibly,
brilliant
it's
here.
a suggestion, Biff. Chicken dance
Do
coming
it,
up
do
here,
it,
yeah.
do it.
He's so funny. Just like this.
Recycling bin? Could you, touch your toes?
Why would Marty wonder if he can touch his toes?
Marty's just messing with him at this point. Yay!
Hypnotized already.
This isn't even close to the chicken dance. What is that?
He's hypnotized already.
That's an excellent point.
Well, in alternate 1986, there is no chicken dance. I think it's been banned from... all dances have been banned ever since the Enchantment Under the Sea fiasco.
So
So
you
Edna
understand-
banned them.
He only understands the word dance then.
Yeah.
Do me a favor
Okay,
and
that makes
go
sense.
get my dad's tape.
And, does Biff actually know how to dance? I don't think he ever danced in the movies.
Hey, Mr. Tannen. What's up?
That'll explain why it looks like he's having a stroke.
Yeah.
Is that
I mean, he goes to the dances, but he never actually dances with anyone. He just spikes the punch with the alcohol. And
Tries to sexually assault people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we tell him to do that?
We
Why
did.
did we do that? We don't know where that goes.
We told him
Like
to follow
flames
the
shoot out the
tape.
bottom.
What if it just goes into like a pit of lava?
To the recycling bin before. Well, where does it go? That information is above my pay grade.
Yeah, he
I
doesn't know.
think Marty would have said, Biff, stop, or so. Well, he's not that concerned for Biff's
Well, again,
well-being.
this is an alternate reality, Biff, so whatever happens here doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Just like Einstein.
But then Marty decides to jump into the bin,
There's nothing.
which
He's gonna
leads
land
to the
right on top of Biff.
speakeasy. Yeah, leads to the speakeasy on the other side of town, and somehow we're back to Wimpy Biff.
Something, Mr. Tannen. I put a lot of work into honing
Why would Edna make her secret headquarters, you know, the same place as the speakeasy, seeing as she hates speakeasies so much?
Well, maybe she sees it as her triumphing over the speakeasy by taking it over.
Lord.
Perhaps
Yeah,
it's the
but
one
I mean-
place no one would ever think to look.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
But she leaves a lot of the speakeasy stuff there, like the panic button and the roulette table connected to the panic button.
It's also not a good idea to connect it right to the recycling bin, because I know people have thrown garbage down there before. That's where I put it.
I was just trying to look at the things that were flying out of the dumpster as we landed. I think I saw a soccer ball in there.
There was a soccer ball. Soccer balls are apparently illegal.
Stop!
It's because somebody cut open a soccer ball, put a brick inside it, then sewed it back up, and then left the soccer ball out in the middle of the open where people would want to kick it, and they would
We all know
purposely
who did
hit
that.
the brick
Biff.
and break their toes.
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you referencing something?
This is an April Fool's Day joke that people did back in the 40s.
Really?
Really?
I read like a 1940s comic strip, or somebody made that joke. It's like, why don't you do the soccer ball joke? The brick in the soccer ball joke, and I had to look it up. And I'm like,
It's not a very good joke.
that's a very horrible joke.
One of my friends, right, he had this foam brick. It was foam, but it was shaped like a brick, coloured like a brick. And one day I'm just over his house and he says, "Hey, catch," and throws what looks like a brick at me. And I flinch and it just bounces off me and he's laughing. I feel like such an idiot.
My mom used to do that with her third grade class.
Throw bricks at them? Just
Foam bricks.
this year, April, we should stuff a football full of bees and then give it to someone.
This is horrible. But why else would soccer balls be banned?
That's what we were talking about. That's right.
Well, let me see what else. There's a thermos. There's also a thermos which bounces up when Marty
That
lands.
had alcohol in it. Someone was trying to sneak it in, make it look like it was coffee or
So it's
something.
clearly like a soup thermos or something. It looks just like one.
Oh, soup is outlawed, I guess.
It was tomato bisque.
And it looks like some sort of doll. The other thing, the thing on the
Really?
left, it looks like a doll, a person wearing blue.
So what's going on
Like
in
a
the
weird-
game right now?
It's like a weird lawn gnome, which I could understand being made illegal because those things are creepy.
Uh,
But
You
right
are,
now, yeah,
you're distracting Biff by pointing out things he likes, like beer, cars, and I think there's porn on the other side.
yeah, beers, car, porn, and cigars. The only thing that doesn't work are the novelties. The box of, novelty pranks, like
like a soccer ball with bricks in it.
and whoopee cushions, and exploding cigars.
Tannen, listen to me.
Babes. Booze.
Yeah, so now that Biff, somehow that breaks the hypnotic hold.
Babes and booze.
Girly.
Does it every
It's just
time.
a magazine called Girly.
Isn't that the name of the magazine in the second
Is it?
movie?
I was trying to remember. No, Ooh La La is the one in the first movie. Or,
Oh, okay.
wait, your
Yeah.
second? No, oh, I'm so confused.
The
You're right.
second movie, where we have the sports
You're right,
almanac,
yeah.
the alternate, like the fake cover, which
Ooh la la.
is
Ooh la
that
la.
scene.
We just
Yeah.
caused Biff to have a brain hemorrhage.
Yeah. And this is Edna making it seem like she's unhappy with the marriage because she's insulting Doc. She calls him her wishy-washy husband or something like that.
What?
But I'm just wondering when their relationship went wrong.
Well, I think it went wrong from the beginning. I mean, this universe, in the Back to the Future universe, like I was talking about before, like the universe clearly knows which people belong together, and these people don't, and it's a front to everything. So it just went sour right away, I think.
Emmett, what are you doing here? I came down here to investigate.
Matt hasn't played episode 5, so I'm not going to spoil anything.
I've played, no, not episode 5, only sort of like halfway through episode 4.
Yeah. There's a point in like episode 5 where alternate Doc is going to try to want to repair the relationship between him and Edna. And she
Why would
feels
you
bad
do
for
that?
about 3 seconds, and then she goes back to being evil.
Almost to cure society's illnesses, just to create a world where free will can be turned off with a flick of a switch.
And she's just standing there the whole time.
What is just as much as I did. Remember? If only
Which
we
makes it seem like this is not the first time he's flipped out and yelled at her.
Oh,
never tread foot on a
she's learned how to take it
lawn again.
and give it right back to
Was
him.
it the time that she gave him a football with a brick in it? It is, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Well, that's right. You're from England. You don't call it soccer ball.
Hey, I can call it soccer if you want me to. I know
No,
what
no,
it
no, no,
stands
no.
for.
It just took me a complete second to realize that.
Association football, there we go. Soccer.
Well, this does take place in California, so they would call it soccer. And now Doc is sad. And he's acting at this point. It's the extent of his voice acting at this point.
I'm sorry.
So now we're going to cheer Doc up.
It seemed so bad back in 1931.
Nix, we need to get him to repair the time machine. That's what this has all been about, right?
She was so
Yeah.
principled, compassionate.
Yeah, see, he's saying at the beginning it was nice, and he's wondering when things went wrong.
Don't be so hard on yourself. This Hill Valley may be a little messed
Now,
up.
why did they not have children?
But you were just trying to help people.
I don't think Edna wanted children.
Could it be the case that they had children, but we just haven't seen them? Maybe like the child decided to leave Hill Valley
I'm
forever.
sure he wouldn't blame you for all
I think
this
being near a
stuff.
flux capacitor has ruined Doc's sperm count, and that's why they never had children.
Well, he had children in the third movie at the very
Well, that's-
end.
But at that point, he hadn't been around the time machine as much.
Well, this Doc hasn't been around a time machine at all.
That's an excellent point.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Maybe that's where things went wrong. Okay, that's it. That's where things went wrong. Doc wanted children and she didn't, and that's what started the
God.
first big fight which ruined their relationship.
We're writing
We
like
have
this whole
lots of
backstory
hints.
for him.
I
We
seriously
got
don't think
the answer of
Telltale
this.
went this far.
I'm sure it's on Telltale's outline somewhere.
Nah.
That's the answer to the question. We finally solved it. Okay, now we can stop talking about their relationship finally.
This game deals with some serious issues I did not pick up on my first time through.
Hmm.
Oh, and this is when we noticed that his symbol there is kind of the exact same thing as a flux capacitor.
Yeah. Because he never thought of the flux capacitor in this
Right.
alternate timeline. Because in the alternate timeline, he thought... No, in the real timeline, he thought of the flux capacitor when he was like... What was he doing? He was on
Yeah,
the
he was
toilet...
hanging a clock, I think.
Slipped in-
And then he slipped into his
Yeah.
head.
And that's how time travel was invented. Doc slipped on a toilet.
Bring Heine along.
Which might be a commentary on how well he handles the time machine.
Okay, so wait, it looks
Time
like they
travel.
didn't just throw Einstein down the decycler. They at least put him in a cage
Yeah.
to be made into hot dogs, but that's fine.
I just realised that there was a joke from Robot Chicken that I've just remembered. And
makes
after
sense
you
now.
saying that he slipped on the toilet, it just seemed to strike back in my head, and I remembered
What
it.
was it?
I don't want to say. We have particular audiences watching. I'm sure they'll find it on the related videos.
Yeah, Robot Chicken is nice, but they make so many references to things I don't know, and it's just not funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, that it's
And
really
your Back to the Future sketch would not be funny in the slightest if you haven't seen Back to the Future.
I found it funny, although I had not seen it, but that's because I knew the basic gist of what the series was like.
I still can't believe you've never seen the Back to the Future movies before.
Well,
This is a gaping hole in your pop culture knowledge, Matt.
well,
They
you know
came
what?
out long before he was born.
They're on like Play.com for £18. I'll just buy the Blu-ray set.
Hmm.
I think that's what I'll do. And then you can shut up.
I'll accept that.
I'll watch them in high definition, and then
I haven't even watched them in HD yet. I have the Blu-ray set, but I just haven't watched
and
it
you
yet.
call yourself a Back to the
Yeah, well,
Future fan.
I had just watched them on DVD, and then the Blu-ray came in. Actually, watching on
And now
DVD
Biff is
itself
mad.
was practically a revelation because I had only seen the VHS versions before, where it was letterbox. All of a sudden, there's like a whole several more inches of movie there. Very exciting.
Is there really ever anything exciting on those extra inches?
No.
I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything which actually has something very interesting going on in the widescreen portions.
Well, that's probably intentional though, because they want to make sure that nothing essential gets missed. If you're watching it on...
It's a rule of filmmaking, isn't it? That you
Yeah.
try to put the center focus on the main piece of the scene. That you try not to fill the sides with anything that's distracting. Don't worry, I studied media.
I'm thinking of The Sword in the Stone, which Walt Disney had the animators animate things, extra things on the top and the bottom for home release. Whereas it was widescreen in the theaters, but he actually had them animate extra things for a VHS release, not a VHS
Wow.
release, but TV release.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
That's dedication.
To think they did that.
Is that supposed to scare me or something?
I think that's probably the only Disney film they did that for, but that's like 1965.
So what are we trying to do here?
We are trying to find a way to escape from Biff, who's trying to kill
Okay.
us, but
And we're throwing records at him.
throwing records at him. What you're supposed to do is use the panic button, but I forgot what to do at this point. You're actually supposed to throw records at him, then sick Einstein on him. So, I mean, I freed Einstein, and I'm sicking Einstein on him. Now he's over here at the roulette table, and that's when I hit the panic button in order to knock him out.
Place your bets.
You think Marty could have just walked around him, because Biff was clearly detained at the table, but it's safer to have him unconscious.
Let's get out of here, Einie.
It's another brain injury for Biff.
Poor Biff. But again,
Another
this is alternate
timeline.
It's a
Biff.
Splinter universe. Nobody cares.
Why it took so long.
Another timeline, another dead Biff.
Totally laid him out with the old Martin McFly. Edna, it's
Uh-oh.
almost impressive how many years of work and planning you nearly ruined in just a few short hours. Where's Doc? Doc. My husband.
She's just gonna let us go, right?
Yes.
What have you done to him? Relax, Martin.
You know,
We've got
very strange. I probably should have mentioned this in the previous video. Why does Marty keep calling him Doc all the time?
Oh, dude.
Even when he's in so many timelines where nobody refers to him as Doc. You think he would have switched to saying First Citizen Brown or Emmett, but
Well, I don't know. If you know someone by a name and you've known them by that name for a long time, then you're going to lapse into that name anyway.
yeah, but you don't want to tip people off to the fact that you're from a different timeline.
I don't think anyone would have picked that up from Marty calling him Doc. Although I don't know that Doc would have really responded to being called Doc.
No, that's what happened earlier on in this video where Marty says Doc to Doc, and he's like, "Oh, you think of me as a doctor." And here are previews from the next game, which are in different places. I mean, those scenes don't take place inside the office of Doc. We actually never see that office again.
All right.
To be fair, these episodes were work in progress at the time they
Yeah.
showed those.
But they were a month away from release, so... I guess, no, I think maybe they did that on purpose because they didn't want to spoil
Yeah,
anything.
maybe. I mean, I always just skip these parts because I was afraid of spoilers, so this is my first time
We'll
even
give
seeing
them the benefit of the doubt.
It's not like Dragon Ball Z where they tell you the next episode in its entirety in the preview.
Yeah.
They're at least somewhat cryptic in these.
So this has been Back to the Future Episode 3.
Yeah, no. It's a very nice how they do the previews. It's just, are they necessary? I think people would watch, people would purchase the next game.
Well, I think they were doing
Just
it to
based
tie
off
into
the
the movies
cliffhanger.
more because they did that at the end of Back to the Future 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to purchase them as a whole set, right? So they're
On
already going to
PlayStation you do. I'm not sure about the PC. Not sure about PlayStation, actually.
Yeah, you think the cliffhanger would be enough to bring people into the next episode, that you wouldn't need previews.
Huh. Again, this has been Back to the Future Episode 3.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you all for watching. This has been Paul, Michael, Matt, Nikola talking about this game.
Yeah. Bye.
Woo!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.